I'm a publicist for NBC News and MSNBC at 30 Rock in New York. And I originally started as a coordinator for the NBC News network department. So I worked specifically on the network for a while, about 2.5 years, doing a lot of really basic PR jobs. I was an assistant, so answering phones and writing basic press listings and press releases, working on talent bios and doing photo shoots, those sort of basic things. And then as I got more experience and more comfortable with our talent and our shows, I actually added some MSNBC responsibilities as well. So it's kind of great because I have the opportunity to work on both the network side and the cable side. So it's a pretty interesting way. Our the network news and the MSNBC are closely linked because a lot of our talent reports on both platforms. So it's cool to be sort of the in-between person that works on both. Well, I do a lot with our community service organizations, so I'm sort of the liaison between outside organizations and NBC Universal or NBC News. So like if an organization is looking for us to buy a table for an event like Matrix, they would come to me and kind of communicating and trying to figure out budgets and that kind of stuff. And I was actually assistant to Allison Gallus, who's on our board of New York Women in Communications, who has since actually been promoted quite to a high position here at NBC PR. She's now the EVP of all communications. So I started with her when she was down as the SVP of news communications. So as her assistant, and then from there I was promoted to publicist. When I was in high school was when like the Spartans and Will Ferrell were huge on Saturday Night Live, and I just loved SNL, and I actually won tickets to the Saturday Night Live Lotto when I was 16. You have to be 16 to go, and I won them when I was 16. So I got to come and see a taping of Saturday Night Live, which is in this building, and I met an NBC page who, because part of the page job is to do audience coordination for shows like Saturday Night Live. And I met a page and I thought, that is the coolest job in the whole world. I want to do that someday. And for some reason that was just such a pivotal moment. It was just so cool, and I thought TV was so glamorous, and I really wanted to work at 30 Rock, and it's so crazy 10 years later, I was a page and I work at 30 Rock, so it's kind of cool. I mean, that was just something I remember really vividly, just something that I really wanted to do. I went to Syracuse University, graduated about 5 years ago with a degree in public relations and policy studies. So I was part of had classes in the communications school, but also in sort of the arts and science, kind of traditional liberal arts education. Media has changed so much even in the short time that I've been out of school. I mean, when I was in school, there was not Facebook when I graduated. And maybe,
or like video on phones and
there was
stuff like that.
Nothing like that. I mean, I think, again, I heard of Facebook maybe the summer after I graduated. It wasn't part of my college process. So a lot of the social media that is big now, I never even had heard of in college. So there's so many things I didn't learn that you're kind of learning now on the job, because technology has changed even in that short period of time. I mean, I didn't even have a laptop in college. I was using like a big desktop, and that was only a few years ago. It wasn't even that long ago. So definitely, I think school prepared me, and I was pretty involved with a lot of extracurricular activities too, which really helped develop leadership skills and working with all different kinds of people, which have helped to kind of translate into my current job. Just having confidence in group meetings and having confidence around all different levels of people. So if I'm in a meeting with the president of the news division or a big news anchor, it kind of helped develop my confidence. I mean, these media companies are so big, and there's people that when you're in school you're reading about, and then the next few months you're in meetings with them. It could be a little bit intimidating, but I think helping to build confidence while you're in school and on internships is really helpful.